Good afternoon, everyone. It's Andy, better known as Cancergeek, and I wanted to take a brief moment and wish everyone out there a happy and wonderful International Women's Day. And at the same time, I also wanted to give thanks and share a story about three important women in my family that have inspired me to work inside of healthcare, but more importantly, they've inspired me to remember the patient, that the reason why any of us exist inside of healthcare is to care for people as patients and to make sure that we deliver that care at the end of one. And so the first woman in my life actually happens to be my grandmother, my father's mother, who I never had the chance of meeting. But what I can share with you is that my grandfather passed away when my dad was only 10. And so for the next 4 years, it was just his mother, my grandmother, that was both a mother and a father, as well as a friend to my dad. And when my dad was about 13 years old, she started to get very sick. And so, my dad had to interpret for her when she went to go see the doctor, how she was feeling and that she couldn't keep food down and pain that she was having and those types of things because she didn't speak any English. Spanish was her only language. And they lived in a small little shack in the middle of the field in Racine, and they had a tin roof and a dirt floor. And so as she progressively got worse and got sicker, my dad had to continue to make sure that she was taking her pills and she was keeping as much food down as she possibly could until she ended up passing away. Years later on, we realized that what my grandmother had was liver cancer. And so that story that my father shared with me has always stuck with me, and it's always been very important to me. So much so that if I fast forward to the time that I was attending college for radiation oncology, my father's sister, my aunt, was also diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was early stage, and she went through her treatments, and I was able to help the family sort of educate and understand what all of this meant. Because again, she was widowed at the time. She spoke broken English. Spanish was her first language, and she also happened to be illiterate. And so, over the course of the next 9 or so years, up until 2010, it was really about sort of managing her care and understanding from her perspective what good care looked like and what it felt like and what it meant. As far as, people listening to her or not listening to her, and sort of her thought and thinking that some of the pills that she was being given were sugar pills and not actually medicine to help keep her disease at bay. And unfortunately, she passed away in 2010. And the last one is my own mother. So from a small age growing up, my mother has always been a nurse. She's been an administrator both in a hospital and in a nursing home facilities. And so I've always been enveloped inside of caring for other people and taking the time out of your busy day, no matter what you're doing, to listen to people and to their needs and to their stories. And so on International Women's Day, I think it's extremely important for me to say thank you to both my grandmother, my aunt, and my own mother for giving me the extraordinary stories, the lens, and more importantly, the gift of understanding why it is so important to listen to people as they become patients and really understanding what are their needs inside of healthcare so that I can work diligently to change the status quo and help deliver care at the end of one, which is ideally the care that all of us want. So again, to all of you out there, I want to wish you a wonderful day, a happy International Women's Day, and to all of the female leaders that I know and have had the privilege of working with, learning from, and being mentored by, I would like to say thank you. And I'm looking forward to more wonderful and spectacular things. Have a great day.